Hello everyone, True Zero Emissions here. So I think we've made, I'm just going to guess, like 6 videos so far. And I'm going to call them short videos, even though I don't know if they're short. I actually haven't been paying attention to the recording time at all. So I don't know. I do not know how long the videos are. I just got distracted by, I was thinking about the woman I just met. There was another lady, I don't know if you saw her in the video, that I sounded like she was yelling out, and I don't know if she knew the woman I was talking to. I don't know what was happening with that, but if I do see the woman again, I could ask her. Anyway, going back to now that I shared that with you, hopefully I can move on to what I was talking about. So right now I'm just, this place hasn't opened yet. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go up to the window and just see what time they open, so I have an idea of, like, just so I have an idea of when they open. It says they open Friday, so Thursday. Let's see what we have here. It's Thursday, it's 6:50. I think they open at 10. I think they open at 10. So if the workers come in like an hour early, just as a guess, as soon as I see a car pull in, I'll go. That's what I'll do. But if there's no one here right now, no one's pulling in and out, but I do realize someone could drive through here. So I'll have to watch for that too. But now I can just do my practice. I'll practice my turns. I'm just thinking to myself, it's so easy to end up on the ground because I want to turn faster. I want to get better at turning fast, but I see loose. This stuff on the ground here is easy to slide on. If I turn where I'm hitting G, I'm going to call it hitting G forces, hitting G's, which is the doubling of weight, right? I think 1 G is my weight doubled. I think that's right, but double check for yourself. 2 G's would be double my weight. 3 G's would be, well, I think let's see, is 1 G, I don't know what 1 G is. 1 G, I'm guessing, is my weight doubled, right? So 1 G. Or am I already at, no, yeah, I think we're at 0 G's, right? And then when we turn, how does it work when we turn? I'll have to look it up. It's been a while since I've read all this. But if I'm putting a force, a side force on the tire, right, where it wants to slide out, it will slide out at a certain speed, and the variable, if I call it that, is the ground, what's on the ground. If it's clean, like if I took a blower and blew everything off, and also there's no grease there, nothing slippery, and my tire's clean as well, and my tire's sticky enough and warm enough, then I could turn faster, right? But I do want to be able to turn where I'm leaning over the side of the electric unicycle. I want to be able to do that, but I also don't want to crash. Now, if I'm going to start pushing the limits right now, if I'm going to do that, which I do want to do, this turn looks like it has more debris on it than the other one. Maybe I'll go slower on this one and faster on the other one as a possibility. But I think I started recording again. Let me double check. Yeah, we're recording. But maybe I can go faster on this turn and just change direction each time. And this turn goes slower because I see debris on the ground. That was neat because I said the next time I see the woman, I'll tell her the rest of the story, and then I saw her right there. And she said that was the first time taking that path. Is that called serendipity? I had a desire to tell the rest of the story. I thought, oh, I don't want her to think that it was just like I just got on this thing and rode it. Because what if she got hurt thinking she could just jump on it? Like, oh, Joseph didn't have any balance and look how quick he learned. No, I used a basket. Now, if you use a basket, I imagine that you could probably learn faster than I did. That's my thoughts. See how I'm leaning over this? My hips are turned. I started doing this after Delta shared with me, Delta on Marty's ride, to move the hips. She said, turn your hips, move your hips where you're going, and your shoulders too. And when I did that, wow, what a difference. because before my turns, I always felt like I was going to fall, and I felt like the unicycle didn't want to turn. But now that I'm leaning my hips, I'm leaning and pointing my hips in the direction of I'm turning, and my shoulders too. It just feels like the unicycle is doing everything by itself. Like it just turns by itself, just by turning my body. And before, it felt like it was resisting being turned, like it didn't want to turn, right? But what I'm also doing is I'm leaning the wheel over. I'm actually literally leaning it over. And some of the really fast riders, it doesn't look like they lean the wheel over that much, but the wheel looks like it stays almost straight up and down and just leaned a little bit, but their bodies leaned like all the way over the side. And that's something I want to practice and see if I can do that, or practice doing that in smaller degrees than I've just described, right? Okay. Now, even if I'm not achieving any kind of G-forces here, or like 0.001 Gs, at least I'm turning, right? At least I'm doing turn practice, which I want that. I want to have I want to practice turning, and I want to get more time in that. Because if I'm just doing speed, like high speed all the time, like one of the main things I practice is trying to practice the higher speed, because I don't want to crash at a high speed in a group ride. So I practice that, so it's not so it's less uncomfortable to me and less unfamiliar to me, right? More familiar to me when I'm on a group ride. As Justin said before, when I was first learning, he said, James said, well, I can loan you my electric unicycle. It's because before I had one, right? Before I had my own, I was riding the V10F, but that would not keep up with them. It would just beep because it reached the limit of its speed, right? You can't go beyond that, and then it'll crash it. It'll stop. It'll just stop if you push it. If you keep pushing it, if it beeps and you keep pushing it, trying to go faster, like it would beep. And Ryan once said, "I thought you were gonna crash." He didn't say that, but he got scared when he was right behind me, and it went beep beep beep, and he said he used different words, but it kind of scared him or startled him because he thought I was crashing right there, and then he was afraid that he was going to crash into me, right, if I crash right in front of him. But James said, I can loan you an electric unicycle. But then Justin said, if he goes on a ride with us, like not used to the faster unicycle, right? He didn't use those words, but that's what we're talking about. This unicycle that's faster, I'm not familiar with it, and I'm trying to keep up with the group that's doing like 40, right? 35 or 40, or 30 or 35. There's a high chance of me getting hurt trying to keep up with them. So by practicing at these speeds on my own, when I go on a group ride, I'm just riding. I'm not at my limit. I'm not like, oh my gosh, I've never done this before. I don't know what's happening. Can I fall any second? Now in practice, I can feel that sometimes. I can feel like sorry, I'm thinking right now. When in practice, I can sometimes feel a sensation of what's happening. Am I going to lose control right now? Am I crashing? Am I going to crash? When I feel that way, I just don't do anything. I just stay where I am. I don't jump off the wheel. Some people just jump off. And they're like, oh, I may not have crashed if I didn't jump off. The idea is to ride it like you're going to stay on it. Stay on the wheel. And you'll know if you're crashing and you have to get off it, you'll know, because you'll be like, put it this way, I've had 1 foot off of the EUC, 1 foot off, and I'm balancing with 1 foot. I can't ride like that. But that happened before, where I lost my balance. I was going fast around a dirt corner, and 1 foot came off the pedal, and then I just put it back on. It went off. I was on one leg, and then I put my foot down, and I'm going again. Another example is that's on this electric unicycle on the Lynx. There's another example when I was learning how to ride, where I was riding the V10F, the in-motion V10F. And here's a trash truck. I gotta watch out for him. I was riding the in-motion V10F, and I hit a big bump in the road, like 6 inches tall, and it went real steep. I hit that bump. The wheel threw me up in the air, and I just stayed still. I stayed still. So the wheel went in the air, my feet went in the air off the wheel, and then I landed on the wheel, and the wheel landed on the ground. And I swerved back and forth a little bit, and then went straight. Now, when I got thrown in the air, if I had accepted that I'm crashing, and that's it, okay, catch myself, and I'm preparing to fall on the ground, then I would have crashed, I think, right? If I'm just ready for the fall, right? Or I probably would have landed on the unicycle and maybe got hurt, because I wouldn't have had my feet where they were. But because I just left my feet where they were and I didn't move, I came back down on the wheel. The wheel resumed going forward. I mean, it went like forward, back. I mean, it went like, not back, but I had to regain my balance, but I was able to do it. Now, another example of what happened is when I was on the same electric unicycle as I hadn't ridden for, I'm not sure how long I hadn't ridden, because I was waiting for the links to arrive, right? Which took like 5 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks, because I wanted to save money, so I ordered it from Next Gen Mobility, which at that time didn't have any in stock, but they was going to take a few weeks to get it, right? So I was willing to wait, which was really hard to do at that time, because every day meant so much. I wanted to ride every single day, right? But the in-motion V10F, I went on a ride. I'm like, I'm gonna go on a ride. So I don't know how many weeks went by where I didn't ride it, and it was sitting. But that was like a bee. Hope I don't get bit right now. It looked like it crashed into my goggles. I think it saw the orange. The goggles were like orange. I think it was going for the color. Like flowers, they go for flowers because of the colors, the bright colors. So I was going down a steep hill at full speed, like whatever the full speed is, like 25 miles an hour. I was going down a hill, and I had my feet all the way up against the electric unicycle, close. Even my tippy toes were close. And I learned later by Ryan, he said he rides with his feet out like this at almost a 45-degree angle, and it helps the electric unicycle to be more stable and to not have speed wobbles. That literally ended the speed wobbles for me, by Ryan telling me that. So I'm very grateful to Ryan for teaching me that. People since then have told me that, there's times they'll put their feet in and times they'll put their feet out. I still don't know all the best times for everything. I feel like I try to keep my feet out. See how they are out right now? See how this one's not in? It's out a little bit. See how it's out here? So it's not at a 45, but it's out a little bit. And I don't want to have speed wobbles. Ever. That's like a big priority to me, is not having speed wobbles. And someone was asking me, several people have asked me, do you know about speed wobbles, like when you're stopping or just riding? And they asked me, how about stopping fast? I said, yeah, when I stop fast, if it's wobbling, I straighten my legs out. And they said, okay. And they were like, well, everyone has their own way of doing it. That's one way to do it. So, like everything, there's always another way, right? And we find what works for us. And we could also take notes on what people share with us, which I do that. I write down what people share with me, like on how to ride differently, different techniques, different approaches, and also equipment, right, and accessories, things that might be helpful for safety, and for safety of myself, for safety that protects the electric unicycle, right? Because they make armor for the electric unicycle. They make armor for it. So that's very good. Okay, everyone, True Zero Emissions signing off for the moment. I'll be back in a few seconds. We're going to start a new video, and we'll see you in a couple of seconds here. Stop recording.